皆さん、明けましておめでとうございます。今年もよろしくお願いします。Happy New Year! Yes, and thank you for watching my first video of 2019. So I chose this topic because I think it's very appropriate for the beginning of the year because I'm hoping that some of you, if not a lot of you, made studying Japanese as your New Year's resolution. And if you have any good system going on, great, stick to it. And you can maybe find something to supplement that. Okay, so let's get started. Actually, this topic was requested by one of the viewers a while ago, and it took me a while to come up with it. You know, I mean, especially internet age, you know, there are so many things out there you find useful. I'm just introducing you some of the things that I've heard and I've come across, and especially by my students who use those materials and they like them. So I just wanted to give you some of the names, but I'm not endorsing anything or anybody. I'm not getting paid for that. So if you have anything or anybody, maybe a teacher, tutor, if you go to class, and if you like it, stick to it. Anyway, so as a language nerd, as you know, I wanted to just mention one thing. So in learning a language, any language, I believe there are 4 aspects. Hanasu, speaking, kiku, listening, yomu, reading, and kaku, writing. So there are those 4 elements that you cover, and eventually I think all 4 of them have to develop, like, you know, one after another gradually, so you're all balanced out. It's not just, oh, I can understand but I don't speak a word, and then okay, that it's not very good, right? So in those 4 elements, so listening and reading requires your understanding of the language, right? So when it comes to speaking and writing, it actually, so you have to create a phrase or a sentence, or you know, you have to create of your own. Then it's like outgoing. I think taking information is a little more important because you cannot make what you don't know, right? Like if you want to construct a sentence, if you don't know the words or the information, the logic behind it, it's hard to create a sentence, whether speaking or writing. So understanding what's going on, I think it's more important. So if you are about to study Japanese, I think listening is #1 priority. And well, it depends on your reason of studying, whether you just want to talk with Japanese people when you're traveling. Yes, your focus should be listening and speaking. And if you are in school, then you want to take a test. Yes, reading, writing becomes more important. And if you're doing business, yes, like writing is crucial. So it depends on what your reason is. Your focus may shift, but for me to study language, I think understanding is the first priority. Then you go from there. So okay, I am done with my little speech. Let's get into the details. So first of all, when I first started teaching Japanese, I bought this little book. Now it still comes in handy. This well, Japanese grammar, that's the title. And where was it? It's a #1 choice in language guide. I think I bought it in Amazon. Yes, and oh, it's only like $6.95. Maybe it's a little more expensive, I'm not sure. I hope you can find it. It's a Barron's. So I'm not endorsing this, but I like this book because it's all the writings in Romaji, so it's very easy for beginners as well. You don't have to know how to write hiragana, katakana, or kanji, and it's detailed, but it's very simple. If you are an advanced student, maybe this is too easy for you, and then you need a bigger grammar book. But as a starter, I think this is great. And I'm sure this is not the only one. You can find something, similar. But I'm saying that if you have one, I mean, besides dictionary, yes, everybody has to have a dictionary, right? I mean, well, you can use apps. You don't have to have the book. But for me, I'm old school, I love having books. Anyway, so this is my first one. And there are others that I've heard of, and I don't actually have those books because I speak Japanese. There is a book called Adventure in Japanese. I think it's a series. And that, I think, who was it? My students who were still in college and high school, they used to use those. It's a good structure. It's not like one skinny book. It's like pretty thick, but it's a good build up from the beginners, and gradually they explain grammars here. You learn vocabulary and phrases. I think it's a well-balanced book. So if you don't have any guideline to follow through, that might be a good one. I think it's sold in online too. So another one I heard is my current student loved this one. Japanese from Zero. Yes. And I found it on Amazon. It had 5 stars. And they have videos online that goes hand in hand with the book. So not just reading material, then you can watch the video. So it's like a mini class to go with every chapter. And just like the other one, Adventure in Japanese, I remember it has a good structure, good build up. You learn one thing, you practice, and go to the next chapter, then you learn new things. So that one is pretty good too. And another one is, there's a book called Genki. Well, you know the word Genki is fine, right? But it's also a book's name. And I believe this one is more like a practical use. You are not wrong. Yes. And it has a lot of good examples. So that's another book I can recommend. So those 3 are probably the major Japanese textbooks with good structure and good to follow its guidelines. So if you're not attending any school or class, or you don't have anybody to study with, like a tutor or teacher, I think you can buy those books. Then you can kind of follow its instruction. Then again, if you feel like, I want to study this area more, you can always Google, right? And also, this book I used to have, I don't know where it is right now, but it's called A Japanese for Dummies. It's one of those series, like something for dummies. And it didn't have any Japanese writing, like hiragana, katakana, or anything. It was all in Roman letters, so it's good for beginners as well. And I remember it had a lot of like funny stories as well, or somebody's experiences, and some like cultural introductions as well. So I think it's one of those books that you're going to Japan in 1 month, and you don't really have the time to follow through an entire course. Maybe you can purchase this book, and it's a good read, right? Of course, right now in this internet age, there are so much on your fingertip, your smartphone, tablet, computer. You can find like just basically everything that you need to learn language. And I know there are some like apps out there that I've seen. I can't really mention the actual names because I've never used them before, but there are apps to to practice Japanese letters. Yes, and in that one I've seen you actually write with your like finger on the screen, you know, to follow the what do you call it, like their pattern, and you can practice. And some of them, oh yeah, my student used one of those with kanji. Then if it's correct, you can move on, but if it's not correct, you have to keep writing. So I think that's a good practice that you can do. Maybe instead of playing those games when you have spare moment, you can just, you know, practice kanjis. Yes. And also I saw a different app that you can find people online who want to learn your language, and basically you are doing a language exchange. Yes. So I think it's more like a chat room, but it's for language learners. And that actually, I think there are, in some cities, you can find like a local meeting of language exchange. I'm like here in Los Angeles, and I've heard of it before. So there's like once in a week meeting with English speakers who want to learn Japanese, and also Japanese people who want to learn English, so they can get together, then exchange information so they can practice. So those are more encouraged, and I think they're useful because you get to use what you learn, you know? And one more tip that I can give you is that find something that interests you in Japanese. What it means is that, let's say, you know, I love movies, right? So I used to watch sitcom. I loved Friends. Yeah, I'm from those eras. Oh, they were so funny. So for me, I wanted to know everything what they were saying. So I bought scripts, and if I don't understand, I just looked into it. I asked around, and I actually, since I was in drama school, not a drama club, I practiced those lines, and I mimicked how they were saying, and just like I was playing a scene. I think it helped me a lot, and because that was interesting to me. So if you are studying Japanese, and if you're interested in, let's say, some kind of sports, why not study those Japanese first? You know, if you like baseball, why don't you study some Japanese words and phrases using that, and then listen to games in Japanese, you know, that kind of thing. Because if it interests you, your focus lasts longer, and you're more curious, so you're like sponge. You want to take more information. Since this is a Japanese lesson, I'll give you two words of the today. So to study, we say benkyo, benkyo suru, to make it verb. To learn, we say gakushu, narau. Yes. Studying is, the difference is almost the same as in English, but when you learn, it's not about the knowledge. It has to come with the usage, and it's something that you want to just use it for real. I want you to learn something that you can use and have fun doing other stuff. Using the Japanese language, then I want to do other stuff, traveling and talking and reading books, and, you know, writing letters to your friends. So I hope you find a way. Then I would like to keep making videos that's interesting to you. So, oh, by the way, so, you know, we have great feature as comments. So if you have any other materials that you want to introduce to your fellow learners, yeah, please write here on the comments. And also any interesting topics that, you know, that might be I might be able to make a video. Yeah, just feel free to write here. Okay? Well, thank you for watching today. I didn't speak too much Japanese, but I hope this video will help you study and learn Japanese in 2019. And I will see you in my next video. Okay. Bye! Mata ne!